Here at Laurel, there are many things that we have in common. Most obviously, on some days, we wear a uniform. In my opinion, the pros of a uniform outnumber the cons, but there are times when I seriously question if a uniform is helping or hurting our ability to express ourselves, or even maybe to be ourselves. Fashion can be a form of expression, a way to visually illustrate the person you wish to be. Many of my classmates will remember my middle school years when I wore doubled up pink and green Lacoste polos in order to try and be preppy. But now, to see me wearing a polo outside of school would be shocking and quite out of character. On the other hand, clothes can be a way to divide people, to highlight the differences, not in personality, style, or artistic choice, but rather in things we would prefer to hide, like socioeconomic status. There are many practical reasons for our uniform, such as minimizing distractions during a school day, but it can also deny us the opportunity to express ourselves freely. Another example is Laurel's competitive atmosphere that is only furthered by our numerous resources. As students, we stretch ourselves very thin, trying to take advantage of as much as possible. When a classmate gets an award, however proud and excited for her we may be, there are some, myself included, who feel a pang of jealousy. Although those of us involved in athletics, art, or service may gain recognition when scoring a goal, taking a bow, or seeing someone's life be better, those feelings are fleeting, whereas an award feels much more permanent. There are plenty of more examples of normal practices within our community, and still more exceptions to those rules. But what does fitting in even mean? Are we all part of the same puzzle? Or is it possible that we could all bring our own piece to the table with the end goal of rotating ourselves and moving around until we find the pieces we fit with, rather than trying to reshape? In childhood, we are given big puzzles with pieces that are colorful and look alike and clearly fit together. But as we grow older, the pieces become smaller and more intricate, with much more detail needed to put them together. People are the same way. When we are young, we seem more similar, but as we grow up, we find more within ourselves and become more complex. Yet, I question if these complexities weren't always there. As a child, I had no fear about wearing tie-dye sparkle bell-bottoms or running around my house in my underwear. But as I grew up, I became very aware of what people were thinking of me, and I learned to wear jeans and wear shirts when people came over to my house. Probably a good thing, especially for my somewhat uncomfortable guests. Maybe, when we are children, we are as close to our true selves as we will ever be. What if, when you are growing up and learning new things about yourself, you are actually just rediscovering those traits stifled by maturity? Growing up, we become more aware of societal pressures and what is expected of us. If there were safe places where we felt we could be ourselves, maybe the strife, pain, and awkwardness of growing up and finding ourselves would be lessened. But how can we find a place where society is suspended? In a utopian universe, we would get rid of preconceptions that lead us to judgments, groups, and social divides. Because the reality is, you can't not fit in if there's nothing to box you out. Being an outsider can feel lonely and scary. On my 4-day solo in one of Mountain School's signature challenges, I was completely alone with myself and my thoughts. And I experienced what it's like to live in a boxless world. I had the opportunity to truly know myself. Though at the time, I was counting down the moments until I could see my classmates and re-enter a world I was comfortable in, I'm glad I had the opportunity to feel what it's like on the outside. Intentionally choosing to stand out and not be the same is something very few people are able to accomplish. But why? If it makes our world a more interesting place and ultimately stretches and challenges us to be better, Why don't more people choose to beat down their own path in this world? Why do people feel they can't always be themselves? Unfortunately, people create these social constructs and groups in order to feel like they are in the company of people who are like them, and see anywhere outside of the box as a dangerous place where you are completely alone. Some would argue that not being like everyone else eventually becomes the trend, and then somehow everyone is the same again. So by not conforming, you actually are. To that I say, if the first person didn't take the risk, no one else would, and we would have never moved forward. All this being said, I think it is important to recognize that not only are you doing a disservice to yourself by trying to fit in, you are doing disservice to the communities in which you do and do not belong. For me, going to the mountain school, a place where no one fit in, and therefore we all did, gave me space from the community I had been in where I felt so lonely and boxed out. This space allowed me to be lost for a while. In order to really know who you are, you must at some point be lost enough to find yourself, says Robert Frost. The mountain school gave me this opportunity, but it's not the only route towards the space we need for personal discovery. When I came home, I was a much happier person because other people's view of me began to match the person I felt I was and wanted to be all along. It took lots of time and patience for this to happen, and it is by no means over, but I know I'm better because of it. Not fitting in was the best thing that ever happened to me, because once I gave up on being a person I simply wasn't, I was able to find who I was, and then from there, find the things in other people I had previously been so blind to. But not everyone goes to mountain school. So what does that mean for everyone else? Well, we look to what we have in common, Laurel. Laurel is now and continues to grow to be a place where everyone feels and is welcome. But there is still a long way to go, and I see that as a good thing. The administration cannot just say that we are a place where people feel safe enough to fit out. We have to make it that place, teachers and students alike. I concede that it is difficult, and many who know me well know that I am quick to pass judgments, but I try to reflect on those and challenge myself to trade my quick opinions for more educated ones. Everyone here has the ability to stretch themselves, to reconsider preconceived notions, or to look at the world through another lens. We are not a puzzle that is made perfectly and clearly to fit together. Each of us has to rotate and adjust our piece, but no one should try and hide her colors or change her shape because she feels she doesn't fit correctly. The reality is that there is a place for everyone in this world and in this school. It is scary to take the step out of the box. Being alone and different is not an easy task, but be comforted that you are not alone. Everyone is different, and we have lots to learn from each individual we encounter. I dare you to be different, to be brave, to fit out. While I'm solo, I read Mary Oliver's poem, Wild Geese, many times, and a few lines in particular are ones I keep going back to. Whomever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. Everyone has a place. Where is yours?